So the maxim today is maxim number 26. Women secretly hope that you won't rob them of the opportunity to make themselves vulnerable before your alpha inscrutability. And inscrutability means unknowingly. It's more of a mystery. And remember, women like mystery. Why do they like werewolves, vampires, anything, any of these weird, not science fiction, well, I guess it would be science fiction, characters that doesn't make any sense to guys, but the girls will stop and like watch the show. They love vampire shows. It's a mystery. Anything that they can't put their finger on that keeps them engaged is interesting to them. Guys like things to be a little bit more black and white. And it may be one of the reasons they like the serial killer, the unsolved mysteries, the unsolved crimes, because there's just an unknowing. And women, at the end of the day, if you want to look at it, they hate to be bored. And boring is anything that's predictable. So the number one sin in game or in pickup or with women is to be boring. And that means anything she can predict. And that's why they hate beta men so much, because beta men generally are very much predictable. So when you don't tell her how you feel about her, when she's not sure where you're at, when she's not sure what your background is, when she's not sure of you, she finds you more interesting than when she knows exactly what you're going to do. You're going to send a good morning text. You're going to say, good morning, beautiful. You're going to call her at about noon. You might bring her lunch. And then, you go through your day, and then there's a good night text at about 10. So she knows, as opposed to the guy that she sleeps with once, and then he hasn't texted her in 3 days. She's like, where is he? What's he doing? I know that he works doing something in finance, so he might be busy. They like to wonder. And that's where that gap, where you don't always supply all the information, it allows her to imagine. And what I always tell guys, give women space. It allows her to imagine or think about you, and her imagination is your greatest ally. That's why that inscrutability, that unknowingness, is powerful and helpful to you in her seduction. You don't have to the more you tell her about yourself, the less interesting she'll find you over time. You want bits and pieces. You want to tell stories that display your higher value and give her some insight, but anything concrete isn't always the best thing. And it's always good to tease her and, mess with her head. But the more she knows that, the more she can predict about what you're going to say or do, the faster she becomes bored, which is never a good thing. But women secretly do hope that you won't rob them of the opportunity, which is what they're looking for, some excitement, to make themselves vulnerable, meaning you judge them. Again, we flip the script. Most guys are out there looking for approval from women. And in our world, we have a lot of women coming to us to be approved. And they want to be vulnerable before your alpha inscrutability. She's not sure what you think. And that's why I tell guys, no compliments at all. And it's funny because this is just a rule that, I picked up from Chateau, but I noticed on a lot of dates, especially first dates, at a certain point, the girl would be like 40, 50 minutes in. She'd be like, well, so what do you think? And they were so used to guys going, God, you're hot, you look great. Or, they don't know what you think of their appearance or what you think of them as a package. And it keeps them intrigued. I mean, it's that unusual that you don't gush over some chick that they actually call you out on. And they're like, well, what do you think? And you can always just mess with, I like your lazy eye, or, you look at me and you go, well, I like you, but one eye is a little bit higher than the other. it's just stupid shit like that. And they'll laugh, they'll laugh and they'll blow it off. But again, they don't know what you really think. And that's why guys go. In fact, I had a question yesterday. A guy said, hey, do you start kind of like seeding the idea of a second date during the first date? Kind of like, hey, I'm going to the lake next week. You should come with. And I always say no. I always say your first date is like an evaluation. Even if you go all the way and bang her on the first date, it's still an evaluation. You don't talk about a second date on the first date. You just let it go. You just kind of like, this is the here and now, and this is what's important. And it also keeps her locked in. And there's no like putting things off either. It's like now or never. So you get more first date closes. But again, I never mentioned that. And that gives her a chance to have a good experience. You put her in her car, you send her home, and then a day or two later, you can reach out and set up the next date if you want to go out with her again. But it gives her some time to wonder, is this guy going to call me? Girls like that tension. Guys don't like tension or jealousy, or a lot of emotions are the exact opposite for women. They enjoy the tension of not knowing, wondering what you're doing, wondering what you thought of them. They don't want to know. It's like when you spill your guts. What do we say yesterday? Girls don't like men who like them. So when they know that you like them or that you're pursuing them, they generally shut down and are not that interested. But if they don't know, it gives them time and space to become excited, and their attraction increases for you when they're thinking about you and you're not present. So don't steal from women. When you start telling her how you feel, start taking the reins on the relationship, all that stuff that's none of your business or my business, you're taking away some of her pleasure, and it's kind of cruel. So remember, maxim number 26, women secretly hope that you won't rob them of the opportunity to make themselves vulnerable before your alpha inscrutability. Keep the mystery. You don't have to pour your guts. You don't have to tell her where she sits with you. Let her find out through your actions. Are you reaching out to her? Are you setting up the next date? Again, our business is to find chicks, logistics, and sex. You want to meet them, take them out, have sex with them over and over and over. Let her take care of the relationship stuff. If 10 or 12 weeks into it, she wants to go, hey, what are we? And then you can decide what you are or what you want to go forward with. But let women take care of relationship business. It's not our stuff. And they're happiest when they're the sole proprietor of that. So maxim number 26. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, let me know in the comments section. Let's see what else we got today. So